Okay, so I've challenged myself to do something for the next little while, just in my exercises, that I'm calling 5-stroke watercolor. I'm going to try to create an image using just 5 strokes. This is practice to get me simplified down to the most simple elements of a painting, to try to start leaving out a little more detail than I put in. I really love the idea of just suggesting color. I'm just going to mix up some color for my exercise here while I'm talking, and just suggesting an image and having your eye fill in the rest. I love watercolors like that, and I want to be able to be better at doing that. I find I have a tendency to keep adding detail even after until a painting starts to look overworked, and I really want to get away from that and become a little bit more relaxed in how much detail I put in. So I'm just going to mix up a really nice purpley color, because what I'm really not tired of using purples yet since painting violets. I'm going to paint Saskatoon berries today, which are kind of like a blueberry, I guess. They grow along the roadsides in our region of northern BC and throughout Western Canada. I think they call them by other names like buffalo berry or something like that. Service berry is another word for it. But they're just really fun to paint. I have a friend who's well known for her Saskatoon berry paintings. I'm going to start with a dry piece of watercolor paper and a clean brush, and then I'm just going to grab a little bit of that purpley blue that I mixed up, and I'm actually going to paint a cluster of berries. So we're going to start with 1 stroke, just outlining the cluster of berries here. We're calling this 1 stroke, but as you can see, I'm going over it and defining the shape a little bit more. That's a good start. Now I'm going to just drop in some color. Just going to touch with the beautiful indigo and ultramarine combination. Another touch there. So we're going to call this stroke 2. And stroke 3, this is scary. I don't know if I can do this in 5 strokes. I'm going to grab some red, or in this case it's a crimson. And for my 3rd stroke, just add a little bit of crimson in there. And now this isn't going to count as a stroke because I'm going to use my spray bottle and just let some of that color run out. Ooh, pretty. And yeah, let that happen that way. And maybe just guide a little bit of that color out here like so. And okay, so now I have 2 strokes left. I'm going to do my leaves and my stems. I kind of wanted to use a brown for the stems, but since I'm running out of strokes, again, this is just an exercise, so it's not meant to be, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just practicing. I'm going to be doing this 5-stroke technique for a while, I think, until I feel really comfortable with it. And so I'm just going to start with a leaf shape here, my stems coming here, and then another leaf shape here, and I'm going to call it done in a minute. Add a little more color. This time I've done kind of my darker green color. You can see that's kind of a gray-green mix that I just had sitting in my palette. So this time, for my last and final stroke, I'm going to use a lighter green. I'm just going to mix up kind of a brilliant yellowy green, and I'm going to throw that in. And one more shot with that spray bottle, I think. If they ever invent an anti-gravity spray bottle, I will be very happy, because I just never hold it right, and so annoying. Okay, so that is 5 strokes. to Saskatoon berries, and as you can see, it's not looking a ton like berries at this point. But you know what, for an artist who frequently overworks her paintings, I can give this some time to dry, and then maybe go in 1 or 2 strokes more and just add that final refined color. So I think this 5-stroke thing will be a good exercise for me to continue doing. And if you want to take the challenge and try it, I'd love to see what you come up with. Okay, so here's my dried 5-stroke first step, and I'm going to go in because I'm really liking this, and so I'm not just going to leave it as just an exercise, but I'm going to fiddle around and see what I can add just in a few strokes again to add a little bit more detail and definition. So I'm still using my big brush. I wanted to mention that when I first started painting it, I'm using this brush, which I believe is about a number 10 round. The numbers always wear off, so I'm not 100% sure, but it's a big fat round brush. And so generally using a round brush gives you a little more freedom to be loose. I'm going to go back to the colors I mixed in my palette previously. I wouldn't clean my palette during a painting. I want to use the same colors that I started with and variations on them by continuing to add more colors. So I'm just going to mix up a little bit more of that brightish green, I think, and also the gray olive color. And I'll play with the leaves first. And again, I don't want to add a lot of detail, but I just want to make my leaves a little bit more defined. So I think the best way to do that is with a darker color, actually. So I'm going to go back to my kind of grayish green olive mixture and add a little bit Payne's gray to it, because that's a nice rich dark color that I like a lot. You can see I've got a mixture right here. And I'm just going to find an edge and go in really simple. And I want some edges, but I want to have a little bit of that color flowing as well. So there we go. And a little bit of that just pure Payne's gray into what I've just wet down. Oh, I like that. Okay, so I'm going to leave that. We'll call that stroke 1 and 2. And now we're going to look at the berries and decide what to do with those. Again, I want to have a couple berries defined and the rest kind of just suggested. Right here I have an area, the Saskatoon berry has a little crown, that is one of my favorite things to paint. So that almost looks like that crown already. So I'm going to work with that and think of my berry as kind of pointing in that direction. So I'm going to take, again, I think the Payne's gray and a little bit of indigo, because I want a really dark color, and just a little bit of dark there. It's not going to stay there though, because I'm coming in with clean water. And there. So now suddenly I have my berry crown popping right out. So what do we call that? Stroke 3? And I'm just mixing up some more dark blue, a hint of purple. Such fun colors to paint with. And let's see, what else have we got for berries here? Definitely some berry stuff going on there. How am I going to define that? I don't want to just jump in and start painting, because I'm limiting myself to 5 strokes. I need to make those 5 strokes count. So let's see. I think I'm going to go in right here. I'm grabbing a little bit of my magenta colors that I used originally, just adding a little more saturation of those colors. And I got one stroke left, so I'm going to take it and just go in with some cobalt blue. I don't know why, just because I like it. And it was a color I was using. It's not like I'm putting in a color that I hadn't used before. And let's see where it goes. Yeah, and so now I think I'm done. Just to add one more touch, break my 5-stroke rule, a little bit of indigo, just to make one more berry crown. There. Okay, so now I'm done. And that's 5-stroke Saskatoons. I kind of like it. This was a fun exercise. I wonder what I'm going to paint in 5 strokes next.